Hello and welcome to coverage of the semifinals here at Grand Prix Dallas-Fort Worth. Marie Bartholdi in the booth, joined by Kenji Igashira, Aaron Rubin there on the left side of your screen versus Robert Brown. Robert Brown, red-white aggro versus blue-black, more of a controlling build from Aaron Rubin. Blood Tallow Candle, the first play of the game here. Robert Brown kicks things off with the Plains. His deck is mostly white creatures. Naban, Dean of Iteration here, the first play for Aaron Rubin. No play yet for Robert Brown, just passes the turn back.
Yeah, as long as Rubin can stabilize himself to the later game, I think he should be well positioned off. We'll see if Robert has any of his Pegasus coursers to help push through some early ground creatures. Now, he would have really ideally liked to have a 1 or a 2 drop. He does have both of those in deck, but...
All right, there's an Academy Drake from Aaron Rubin, starting things off in the sky here for his deck. Ooh, how about a History of Benalia here for Robert Brown?
That's a pretty good one. I think I saw Call the Cavalry in his hand as well. So if he's able to go turn 3 History, turn 4 Call the Cavalry, that is a ton of potential damage after the History gets the last chapter off. He'll have potentially 4/4/3 Vigilance Knights.
He has 2 copies of Call the Cavalry in the deck as well.
Yes.
I love it. Academy Drake and Naban getting in. Not a lot of ways to abuse Naban in Aaron Rubin's deck. Just kind of a 2-1 for 1. And a way to make sure he can cast Yawgmoth's Vile Offering if he gets that far.
Make sure your history's triggered.
Oh!
So he forgot to uptick the history there. I don't think it's... There we go. We caught it now.
Yeah, I think they have to talk about this really quick.
Yep. Might as well get the judge in there, make sure everything is good.
Okay, they're still deciding how to resolve this here.
Yeah, so he had played his land already and gone to combat, so...
Yeah, I think that's a mistrigger.
We'll see how far back in time we can rewind this.
Important to remember your sagas, obviously.
Yeah, the wording says after your draw step, but it means in your main phase. But it should have actually occurred before any lands were able to play.
All right, so here we go. It looks like we're rewinding. The land goes back into Robert Brown's hand. And there we go.
Yeah, simple rewind.
Easy fix. Robert Brown gets another knight, and here we go into combat, hitting in for 2 vigilant damage. Aaron Rubin down to 18. Robert Brown currently at 14 after that last attack.
I was going to say, hopefully he remembers to replay this land.
Yes. Oh, a syncopate here.
And that's actually huge for Aaron. I think he was going to syncopate anything that Robert did that turn, but Call the Cavalry was going to produce basically 8 power of creatures on the following turn, so... Nice curve out for Rubin here. 2-drop, 3-drop, and then a counter.
All right, here we go. Academy Drake and Naban getting in. 4/4 once again.
Yeah, good attack from Aaron. His Naban's not going to be blocking the Knights next turn, as there'll be 4 3s. And Robert is also incentivized not to block because of that fact.
All right, follow-up play as well here from Rubin. Hammered Explorer. Let's mill 4. Yes. He holds up 4 fingers because we had a bit of a trouble with that last game.
Yeah, they were talking about this earlier. He should be milling himself here. He has graveyard synergies between Soul Salvage and Rona, whereas, I mean, you might be giving Robert, maybe if he has a Get2 Chronicler, some extra cards in the graveyard, so...
All right, Chapter 3, History of New Benalia, is a pretty brutal chapter. In come the Knights, +2/+1. And here's a Pegasus Courser added to the battlefield and a Knight of New Bedalia.
All right. Pretty good turn there for Robert.
Gets in, knocks Aaron Rubin down to 10, so it's 10 all here. And this is the first game of our semifinals.
Yeah, this one's actually pretty close. Robert effectively stopping all of Aaron's attacks here, and Aaron's still 2 lands away from being able to activate the candle to deal with the Pegasus.
Candle being one of the cards that we've seen quite a lot of this weekend. Maybe more than I expected. Look there at Pegasus Courser, one of Kenji's favorite creatures in white, mine as well.
That just does so much work.
Academy Drake number 2 here for Rubin. No attacks this time.
Okay, that's really good for Rubin. That's going to stop the Pegasus from attacking, but we do know that Robert is playing multiple tricks in his deck, so... And, of course, the players got access to the card pool.
Yeah, so he knows. Oh, does he know?
And so you're thinking to yourself, oh, gosh, well...
Yeah, I mean, 5 combat tricks in Robert Brown's deck currently.
And if this is Run Amok, that's a huge beating.
There we go. Run Amok indeed.
Hoof indeed. All right, Run Amok just took care of 2 2/2 flyers. Robert also pushing in 3 damage from the Knight.
Wow.
And just like that, Robert is heavily favored.
And there's Danitha, Capuchin Paragon to add to the board for Robert Brown. Yeah, that was a blowout right there. Thallid Omnivore, the play for Rubin, has to pass the turn back over to Robert.
It's not going to be good enough. Again, the Pegasus can just continually jump the Knight. Put Aaron on a 2-turn clock.
Here we go, 4 in the air.
Yeah, no 5th land last turn from Aaron means not even a candle is going to be good enough.
And there's a Trapper from Robert. Yet another way to deal with something/anything that Rubin might play to be able to block and survive another turn.
Yeah, and this is how I expected this match to play out, honestly. Aaron had a really good curve for his deck, 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop even. But there was just nothing he could do against the swarm that Robert had, and especially that Pegasus Courser. We were mentioning it before they started playing, that the Pegasus Courser was probably going to play a large role.
Absolutely, and there we saw it. Robert Brown taking down Game 1 here in our semifinals. In Grand Prix Dallas-Fort Worth. Had a great time so far this weekend. Watching this magic down here in Texas. Beautiful weather as well. Taking a look at the players' sideboards here, Kenji. Is there anything you're considering bringing in?
I don't really see too much on Aaron's side. We saw him bring in the Divest in the first match of the top 8. He might do so again just as a way to potentially get rid of the Pegasus Courser before it can come down. But he does have a multitude of flyers, so it's not like he has no answer to those coursers. From Robert Brown's side, no, not seeing too much from him either. He's got 2 Excavation Elephants, but
yeah,
he didn't see any reason to bring in ways to recur his artifacts, so...
Both players each consulting pools again before Game 2 here. Aaron Rubin from California. He's an accountant. Got 4th place at an SCG Open.
Mm-hmm.
And had some real bombs this weekend. Day 1, Demon Lord, Belzenlock. Draft Day 2, Lyra Dawnbringer. So he's been running pretty hot. Is very happy to have qualified for the Pro Tour with this top 8. Players here drawing their opening hands. Robert Brown is from Oklahoma, an assistant professor of engineering at a university. For listing previous Magic accomplishments, 5-0'd a couple leagues on it. Magic Online.
There you go. Hey.
I love it.
That's good prep, It
is. 5-0ing a league is not easy.
Seems like Robert has an affinity for the red-white deck. I think he drafted it in the second draft of today.
Yes, he
leading
did.
up to the top 8.
His most exciting play he's made in Dominaria Limited, he lists as Grow from the Ashes, kicked with Tatyova on the battlefield.
That's always a good feeling.
Love that. If he takes down the whole tournament, be pretty excited to help make his way towards buying a home.
Oh, very nice.
All right, so Ruben's happy with this hand, scries to the top, and we are underway here in Game 2. Robert Brown up a game in our semifinals.
There's one of those artifacts from Robert. Short sword this time. Oh, I see a courser in his hand as well.
Naban comes down for Aaron.
No 2-drop again from Brown. A little unfortunate, but has some good cards in his hand in the next few turns.
Naban able to get in for 2, Robert down to 18, and there is Drudge Sentinel from Ruben. Update from our other table. Craddock wins Game 1 over Vikram Kudva.
Ah, he has the history of Benelia again.
Well, that's a good play on turn 3.
Yeah, especially when you have a Call to Cavalry in hand for turn 4. This
yes.
game might be over very quickly.
I hope, we saw Syncopate on that Call to Cavalry last game. It's just so gross, I want to see it happen. Players had to do a lot of work to get to this point. Make it through day 1 with a good record, and 3 drafts here today in day 2.
Yeah, I still like these attacks from Aaron. He knows he's not going to really want to block, and Robert's not going to want to block either, so might as well make an attack here.
Deep Freeze, shutting down one of Robert's knights. Heading to Chapter 2 on the history of Benalia, gets another knight token, and here we go, Call the Cavalry.
Yeah, he will not be happy to see this.
Wow.
Fortunately, he's not taking any damage this turn, but potential 13 damage next turn should Robert equip the short sword.
Oh my gosh. Living the night dream here in the semis. History of New Benalia, my phone background. Those sagas are fantastic. Megan has Mirari Conjecture in her phone. All right, here we go. Chapter 3, +2/+1 for your knights. We're going to see a short sword equipped to one of these knights, and we do know that Robert Brown is running quite a lot of combat tricks, so this could be even more damage. In they come.
Yeah, if Robert has like a run amok here to give the blocked knight trample, that could be very problematic for Aaron, as he's just pushing in way too much damage.
The Drudge Sentinel is going to block one of these knights and gain indestructible until end of turn.
Okay. So only taking 8 instead of 13.
There's an Aven Sentry to follow up here for Robert Brown, putting some pressure in the air. And Aaron Rubin is really up against it here.
Yeah, the Sentry I don't think is necessarily as good as the Courser, as it only adds 3 damage in the air, maybe 4 if you... I mean, it spreads out your resources, I suppose, as the Courser can make one of the knights fly, but it eats up more mana, because now he has to equip the Aven Sentry with the sword to get the same amount of damage by just playing the Courser. I guess it's similar in effect, because Courser plus sword move is the same, but...
All right, here we go. Aaron Rubin going to mill himself
All right.
this time off this Hummer
There you go.
Explorer. All right.
Unfortunately, a ground creature's not good here. Robert, again, has put early pressure and now played out a flyer, which Aaron has not dealt with in any way.
Memorial to Glory here at the land for Robert Brown. Swings in with the team. And not much Rubin can do here except line up some blocks on the ground.
Let's see if Robert has any of his combat tricks.
Yep.
Minimum, Aaron's going to be taking 3 damage in the air, so...
Blocking is not safe in this matchup. But
versus red-white.
He didn't use one last turn, but...
All right, currently everything will be trading that's blocked.
Charge!
Oh, and that is a blowout.
Oh, wow. Aaron Rubin just extends the hands. Congratulations to Robert Brown taking down that match here in the semis. 2-0 over Aaron Rubin. Congrats to Aaron Rubin as well. Great run into the top 8 here at Grand Prix Dallas-Fort Worth. Robert Brown advancing to the finals with that aggressive red-white deck with history of Benalia. Pretty cool.
Yeah, all of Aaron's creatures there were just going to die. All of Robert's creatures were just going to have one more power and toughness, basically, than all of the creatures that were blocking them. So,
all right, and we have a result there from our second match, Will Craddock versus Vikram Kudva. Will Craddock was able to take down that match as well. So on to the finals. Robert Brown, Will Craddock will be battling it out for the title here at the Grand Prix and $10,000. Ooh, exciting stuff.
Yeah. We'll see some aggressive decks from Robert, and, well, I haven't seen Craddock's deck yet, but we know it's blue-white.
Blue-white for Will Craddock. Yeah, and one of your favorite archetypes in this format as well. So, okay, we'll be back with the finals after these messages.